In this video we're gonna set the jump thing. Okay, in this video we're gonna set the jump thing. So if I open up the player script, okay, player script, so we're gonna make a function. Okay, we're gonna make a function. Firstly we're gonna go to update function. Okay, this runs 60 times in 1 second, means it's each frame it's run. So we're gonna check. Okay, we're gonna check if input, okay, input dot get mouse button down. Okay, mouse button down, and put it in those brackets 0. Okay, I'm gonna explain that one. So if input dot get mouse button down 0, 0 is the left of your mouse button. Okay, 0 is the left one. Okay, if you are pressing the mouse button, left mouse button, okay, 0 is the left one and 1 is the right one. Okay, so we're gonna check for 0. Okay, if you are pressing, okay, if you are pressing 0, means left mouse button, input dot get mouse button down. If you are pressing your left mouse button in this curly brackets, okay, curly brackets, whatever you gonna put, it will execute. The condition should be in this bracket should be true. Okay, so we are checking each frame. Okay, if you are pressing, if input dot get mouse button down, left mouse button down, okay, if you are pressing left mouse button, we're gonna uh, we're gonna we're gonna jump. Okay, we're gonna jump. So for before that we're gonna check if it's working or not. Okay, so print out on so printing message on Unity, you have to use like debug. Okay, debug dot log. We will say jump. Okay, we will say jump. You have to use string in this in this brackets. Okay, so if you are pressing left mouse button, it will print out this jump message. Okay, control S on your keyboard to save this and head back to Unity. So this checks input dot get mouse button down, so it will print out. Okay, the 0 is the left one. Okay, and 1 is the right one. Okay, so if I head back to Unity, just wait for compiling it. Okay, okay, it's compiling. It's compiling. Okay, so press play button of the top and go to console. Okay, if you can find the console, go to window. Okay, window general and find the console. It will bring up the console. Okay, we go to, if I press left mouse button, as you can see jump message appear. Okay, if I press another time, if I press multiple time, you can see the jump mechanics working, the jump message appearing. Okay, so I'm gonna unplay this and I'm going back to the script. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a function. Okay, function. To make a function, you have to type void. Okay, void, and then you have to name the function. I'm gonna name it jump, and then you have to put these brackets. Okay, and then curly brackets. Okay, what we gonna do, we're gonna access this rigid body. Okay, we're gonna access this rigid body, access this rigid body. Okay, access this rigid body, and we're gonna set the velocity in the y direction. If I select the move tool over here, y direction, in the y direction, we're gonna set velocity in the y direction, so it will jump. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an empty field of that rigid body. We need reference of this rigid body. Okay, so we need to create that. Firstly, public, okay, public rigid body, type rigid body 2D. Okay, and call it RB. Okay, RB, and control S on your keyboard, head back to Unity. You will able to see an empty field of rigid body. Okay, empty field of rigid body, just drag the rigid body there. We will now, then we will have link of that rigid body, then we can set up. So what as you can see over here an empty field of rigid body. Okay, so drag the rigid body there. So now we have a link of that rigid body. What we're gonna do, open that up script by double click on that. Okay, we're gonna do RB. Okay, we are going to rigid body dot rigid body dot add force. Okay, rigid body. Okay, rigid body, and we will add force. We will add force to the y direction only. Okay, to jump we will only add y direction. Okay, we're gonna add y direction. So what we're gonna do, into brackets type new. Okay, new vector 2. This is a two-dimensional data. It has x. Okay, x it has x and y, but we don't need the x. Okay, we will put 0 in the x direction, but we will put some amount in the y direction. Okay, that means we also need a need over here a amount, how much should we jump. Okay, so create public. Okay, public float. Okay, public float, call it jump height. Okay, public float, call it jump height. By default I am going to set this to 10 units, 10f. You have to put f. Okay, so what we gonna do, if x comma y. Okay, x comma y. So RB dot add force, it gonna add force. We don't need the x direction. Okay, we if we press the left mouse button, we're gonna jump only y direction. We not gonna jump in the x direction. So what we gonna do, we're gonna put x direction to 0. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put 0f on the in the x direction. In the y direction we're gonna pass the jump height. Okay, we're gonna pass the jump height. Okay, also we have to do comma. Okay, comma. Okay, comma. So comma, this is a force. So that's why we comma, we have to add force mode. Okay, force mode 2d dot impulse. Okay, and close that off by semicolon. But we created this function, but we never calling it. When we call it over here, when we will press the left mouse button, we're gonna call this function jump, and the jump function go to rigid body. Okay, this rigid body. Okay, rigid body, it will go to that rigid body and set the velocity in the y direction. Okay, in the jump height, how much over here. Okay, so we need to call this function. So we will call jump. Okay, jump. Okay, and close that off. So firstly, if we are checking, if we pressing the left mouse button. Okay, we are printing out the message and then calling this jump function, and the jump function going to that rigid body, it will add force to the y direction and 0f in the x direction. Okay, so that's what's happening. Control S and head back to Unity. Okay, you will able to see, if I press the left mouse button uh, of uh, left mouse button, it will jump in the y direction by 10 unit. Over here we assign the jump height 10. Okay, over here we assign the jump 10. So if I play. Okay, if I play, you will able to see that it will jump in the y direction by 10 unit. Okay, so if I play, as you can see, it's jumping. Okay, but it can jump twice. But what we gonna do, if we are grounded, then we gonna jump. Okay, then we gonna jump. If we are in the air, we're not gonna jump. Okay, so we need to keep track of if we are grounded or not. Okay, so Unity has inbuilt function for that. Go back to the script. Okay, go back to script. Over in the down bottom right, on collision enter 2d. Okay, okay, when this function get called whenever player get collided with something. So like this one, in the we have ground. Okay, so it will call whenever something collide, the player collide with something, this function will call. Okay, this function will call. What we gonna do, Firstly, okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna print out what we colliding with. So debug.log, what we have to do, collision. Okay, other, we have other, you can call it, are we going to other, okay, other dot collider, okay, dot game object dot name. Okay, so what we, this function over here, void on collision inter 2D, this function get called whenever something collide. Okay, whenever this player collide with something, this function will call. Okay, and what we doing, we are printing out whatever this player colliding with, we going to that game object collider and game object, and then printing out the name. Okay, so I'm gonna explain in a bit, just wait for compiling it. Okay, so we, what we are doing over here, firstly going to other, then collider. Okay, so we are say, if we select this, we are going to box collider 2D or collider, then we are taking the whole game object, then printing out the name, which is ground, as we can see. So if I move this over here, okay, if this player collide with this ground, this function will get called, and it will print out the name whatever we collided with. Okay, it will name, it will print out that name on the console. Okay, so as you can see, ground, it's printing out that name, ground. So what we gonna do, we gonna we gonna do something like, we gonna create a like a bool, which will keep track of if we are grounded or not, if we are on ground or not. Okay, we will create public, okay, public bool. Bool is we will call is ground, is ground. Okay, is ground. So this will check, oh okay, this is, this bool, this will be true or false. Okay, this will be true or false. We're gonna what we're gonna do, if we are pressing left mouse button, okay, and okay, and is ground is true. Okay, is ground is true. Oh, so if we collide, okay, is ground is true, and then we're gonna set is ground is false. Okay, so I'm gonna explain. Firstly, by default, let set it to true. Okay, so what we are going, if we are pressing left mouse button and is ground is true, by default we set it to true. Okay, then this function will run. Okay, so it will call the jump function, and we are setting is ground to false. And then in the next frame, if we are clicking the left mouse button, okay, left mouse button, okay, but is ground became false, it's not true, it's not true, because we set it to false, we set it to false. So this if statement will not run. Okay, in the next, because we set our is ground to false. We are checking if we are grounded. Okay, grounded, then we are calling the jump function. Okay, after that we are setting is ground false, so next time it won't run. Okay, so let's see if it's working. Control S on your keyboard and head back to Unity. So over here it's checking if you are pressing left mouse button and is ground is true, which is true in the first, and then we are calling the function and we are setting is ground to false. After that, if we again click left mouse button, but as you know we set it to false, it's not true, so this if statement will not run because this is false. Okay, this is false, and this need to be true to run this if statement. This both of these condition should be true. Okay, both of these condition should be true, so this will run, this will run. Okay, so if I hit play, you will able to see that it will jump just only one time. As you can see, is ground over here to we set it to true. Okay, it will able to jump only one time. Okay, if I press, okay, I'm pressing left mouse button, but it's not running because we set is ground to false. Okay, is ground to false. Both condition over if we are pressing the left mouse button and is ground is true. Okay, both condition should be true. Okay, but after what we doing, we are setting is ground to false, so this became false, it's not true. So that's why it's not calling second time. So what we gonna do over here on collision enter? Okay, what, instead of printing out the name of that game object, we're gonna check if that game object, if other dot game object dot tag, okay, tag is equals to ground. Okay, so what we are doing, firstly, whatever we colliding with, okay, whatever we, this function get called when we collide with something, and if that game object has tag, whatever we collided with, if that game object has ground tag, okay, it has ground tag. Okay, so we're gonna say debug dot log, we we are ground date. Okay, we are grounded. So firstly, this function get called when we collide with something, and then whatever we collided with, if that game object dot tag, if that game object has tag is ground, okay, then we are running this. So this will print out debug dot log print out we are on ground. Okay, on the console, if I head back to Unity, if you select the ground, we need to check if that has ground tag or not. If that doesn't have, we're gonna add the tag over there, as you can see, untagged. Okay, so we're gonna go to the ground. Okay, we're gonna go to the ground. Okay, go to the ground. In the inspector you can see tag, just click on that and add tag. We're gonna add a tag ground, we will call this ground, save it. Okay, save it and go to the ground again and tag this to ground. So this player over here, if this collide with this, okay, and if whatever this player with collided with, if that game object, okay, if that game object has tag ground, as you can see, we tag this as ground. So this message, okay, debug.log will print out we are grounded. So control s on your keyboard and head back to Unity. You will able to see that when this player collide with this ground, it will we are on ground message will print, because this game object has tag, as you can see. What we gonna do, instead of printing out, okay, instead of printing out this message, we're gonna set uh, in the next line, we're gonna set is ground to true. Now is ground to, okay, is ground to true, is ground to true. So firstly, what we are doing, firstly we this both condition should be true. Okay, should be true. Firstly, by default we are setting is ground true. Okay, is ground true. So if we are pressing the left mouse button and if we are grounded, then we are jumping. Okay, then we are setting is ground to false. Okay, is ground to false. Okay, so when the player collide with the ground, so then we are setting is ground to true. So this becomes true. Okay, now if we press left mouse button and this becomes true because we collided with ground. So both condition over here became true, so this will run the jump function, and jump function has this. Okay, so this is what happening, and control s on your keyboard to save this and head back to Unity. You will able to see that when we are on ground, then we are able to jump. We won't able to jump on air, but in the first time we will we can do that because we by default set it to true first. Okay, so what we gonna do, play this. Okay, play this and you will able to see if we are press the left mouse button. Okay, if we are left mouse button, as you can see, okay, we cannot jump more. We can jump only one time when we collide this game object. Okay, when we collide this game object which has tag ground. Okay, then is we are setting is ground to true. Okay, then we are checking if we are pressing the left mouse button and then is ground is true, then we are calling the jump function. Okay, this function, and then we are setting is ground to false. Okay, then because we are not contacting with ground anymore, and when we are contacting with ground, okay, whatever the player collided with, and if the game object has tag ground, then we are is setting is ground to true. So this both condition becomes true. So this both condition becomes true, so this is calling. Okay, so this is what is. Okay, if we play, as you can see, we cannot jump anymore. Okay, so this is for the for jump in Unity. We will take a look, we are gonna ending up this tutorial. In the next video we will talk a lot about more C# script. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, just subscribe. Okay, you will get in-depth explanation what's happening. Okay, about C# coding and Unity in general. Okay, and lastly, thanks for watching this video. Okay, I'm gonna unplay this. Lastly, thanks for watching.